The key turned with a sound that felt like shattering glass. That metallic click split my life into before and after. My hand froze on the cold brass doorknob, almost burnt by the chill. The hinges whispered as I pushed. Not a creak, more like a warning. A warning from the house itself, begging me to turn around, go back downstairs, pretend everything was fine, just a little longer. But I didn't. The door swung open. The first thing that hit me was the air, warm, thick, carrying his cologne mixed with something floral, something young. Her perfume. The one I'd complimented 3 weeks ago at Sunday brunch. What a lovely fragrance, I'd said, smiling at her across the table. My daughter had been beaming beside her best friend, happy we all get along so well. Sunlight slanted through the bedroom window, golden, gentle, painting everything in honey-colored lies. Dust motes floated in the light, suspended like tiny betrayers. I thought absurdly, isn't that beautiful? Then I saw them. Logan, my husband, 46, salt and pepper hair at the temples, the same man I fell for at a dinner party 19 years ago. His back to me, shoulders I had massaged countless nights, skin traced in the dark, all gone in a heartbeat. And her, Madison, 24, my daughter's best friend, the girl who had spent Christmases at our table, cried on our couch over breakups while I made her tea, the girl who called me her second mom with such sincere affection that my heart swelled. She was on the bed I'd made that morning, Egyptian cotton, 800 thread count, anniversary spurge, twisted around them like a conspirator. Time warped, stretched, compressed. My brain couldn't make sense of it. I kept trying to rewrite it in my head. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe there's a reason. Then she looked up. Madison's eyes met mine across the room, across the wreckage of my marriage, across the canyon opening in my chest. And she smiled. Not fear, not shock, not guilt. Victory. That smile froze my blood. 6 weeks earlier, everything seemed normal. Utterly, deceptively normal. Logan and I had been married 18 years, together for 19. I met him when I was 23, still believing in the kind of love songs were written about. He was 28, confident, successful in commercial real estate, a laugh that filled rooms, a look that made me feel like the only woman in the world. And for years, I was. We built a life, a beautiful life. Our daughter, Marlene, came when I was 25. Dark hair, green eyes, everything we hoped for. A house in a good school district, a career for me at home, freelancing as a graphic designer. We were happy, right? I can't tell anymore. The cracks were small at first. Logan coming home later, his phone always tilted away when checking messages, showering immediately after work before greeting me. Tiny things. I explained them all away. Work stress, confidentiality, boring adult stuff. I wanted to trust him. I needed to trust him. Then Madison started coming over more often. She had grown up in chaos, divorced parents, absent mother, and clung to our family for stability. I welcomed it. I wanted to give her the warmth she hadn't had. "You're amazing," she told Marlene once, her voice honey sweet. I smiled, warmed by it, blind to its deeper intentions. She started coming even when Marlene wasn't home. Sunshine in the neighborhood, she'd say. Logan would be working in his home office, and I'd make coffee, chat, offer advice, play the role of mentor, mother, fool. "Madison's a sweet girl," Logan said one evening. "I'm glad we can be there for her," I replied, loading the dishwasher. He came up behind me, rare affection, wrapping around my waist. "You have such a good heart," he murmured. I smiled, feeling loved. Little did I know I was loving a ghost. Signs multiplied. A new spicy cologne, sudden gym obsession, phone angled away from me. Once, a text flashed, "Can't wait for tomorrow, same time." No name, just a number. I didn't look. I didn't want to know. I trusted him. 3 weeks before that day, Sunday brunch. Downtown, exposed brick, artisanal everything. Marlene excited about a promotion. Madison just started a social media job. Logan was joking, engaged, happy. Madison's perfume caught me. Floral, feminine, spring-like. Lovely fragrance, I said. She smiled. A flicker of a glance at Logan. Gone. Alarm bells? I dismissed them. 2 weeks before, flowers. Lilies, my favorite. No occasion. Why? I asked. No reason, he said, kissing me like the man I thought he was. That night, we made love. I believed we were turning a corner. I fell asleep in his arms, thinking we were okay. 1 week before, a text notification. I didn't look. That day, headache, tension twisting my skull. Marlene called to postpone her visit. I went home to rest. 2 aspirin, comfy clothes, heading to the guest room. Then a sound, soft, almost nothing, but my instincts screamed. I walked to the door, hand on the knob, turned. The key clicked, and that was it. Time slowed. Fight or flight. I could do neither. Frozen, I watched my world collapse. Logan saw me, face shifting through fear, guilt, calculation. Claire. The name on his lips sounded like a lie. Madison didn't flinch, just smiled. I backed away, step after trembling step, down the stairs, hand on the banister. Something solid, something real. I reached the front door. Where would I go? My home, my sanctuary, invaded, violated. Logan followed me. Claire, please let me explain. Explain. The words sounded empty. Madison descended the stairs, calm, composed, perfectly poised after detonating my life. Claire, I think I should go, she said softly. You think? I snapped. She paused, dropped her eyes, then looked back calculating. Madison doesn't need to know. We can keep this between us. Concern? Strategy? Both. She left. Logan and I stood there. 2 people supposed to be inseparable, now nothing but evidence. You are disgusting, I said. Did you ever think of your daughter's feelings? How long? 3 months. 90 days. 12 weeks of lies, kisses, dinners, conversations, all while dreaming of her. Did you laugh? Did you think I was stupid? God, no, his voice trembled. Tears in his eyes. I love you. This was a mistake, but it doesn't change how I feel about you. Mistake. 3 months?
The house felt hollow. Every familiar corner, every photograph on the wall, every laugh I had once shared with Logan now seemed like a cruel joke. I wandered from room to room, searching for something to ground me, something real. But there was nothing. The betrayal had infiltrated every inch of my life. I couldn't think clearly. My mind kept replaying Madison's smile, the victorious, deliberate curl of her lips. How could someone I had loved like a daughter, like a family, betray me so completely? And Logan, my husband, the man I had trusted with my heart for 19 years, the man I had raised a child with, the man who swore he loved me. I sat at the kitchen table, glass of water trembling in my hands. The sun outside didn't care that my life had just shattered. Birds chirped, leaves swayed in a breeze I couldn't feel. It was normal, painfully normal, like the world outside was mocking me. I had a choice. I could scream, storm out, call my daughter, confront them publicly, destroy everything in one rage-filled sweep. But I didn't. Not yet. I needed control. I needed to understand how deep the deception went before I acted. The first step was gathering information. My instincts screamed at me. Check every phone, every email, every clue Logan had left behind. I went to his office, pretending calm, and I found it. Deleted messages, hidden accounts, a trail of rendezvous meticulously plotted over months. Madison had been deliberate, calculating, patient, and Logan, he had been complicit in every lie. I felt rage, cold and consuming, but I also felt clarity. It was time for confrontation. That evening, I waited until Logan came home. The house was silent. The shadows of the day stretched long across the floors. I didn't speak immediately. I let the tension build. He knew I had found the evidence. The look on his face, equal parts fear and guilt, was confirmation enough. I started calmly. We need to talk. He tried the excuses. It wasn't what it looked like. It was a mistake. I'd cut him off. A mistake? 3 months is not a mistake, Logan. It's premeditated betrayal. You lied to me every single day. Every kiss, every touch, every word a performance. His shoulders slumped. Tears welled in his eyes again. I never meant to hurt you. But words were meaningless. I had lived in this house with a stranger wearing my husband's face. I'd touched him while his mind wandered to her. I'd shared laughs while he shared secrets with Madison behind my back. The betrayal was complete. I laid out the evidence, dates, messages, encounters. He had nothing to defend himself with, nothing to explain away. And Madison, that smile, that calculated, victorious smile that haunted me. I didn't see Madison again that night, but I knew she had left her mark. The next days were the hardest. I had to navigate the house we built together, the life we shared with Logan present. Every glance, every word was a battlefield. I stopped trusting anything he said. Every gesture of affection became suspect. I became a detective in my own home, scrutinizing every detail, analyzing every interaction. And through it all, I planned. Revenge wasn't about violence or public humiliation, not yet. It was about control, about reclaiming my power, about making sure both of them realized what they had destroyed and what it cost them. I started small. Publicly, I stayed composed. Smiles, polite conversation, pretending life was normal. Privately, I documented everything. Logan's excuses, Madison's appearances, their hidden texts. I kept receipts, screenshots, recordings, the full narrative of their betrayal. And then I waited. Weeks later, the confrontation I had planned finally arrived. I invited Madison over under the guise of a casual visit, helping me with the project for Marlene's birthday, I said. Logan didn't realize it was a trap. He still thought I was the loving, trusting wife. When Madison arrived, I greeted her warmly, then led her to the living room. Everything was calm, normal, deceptively domestic. But my calm was a weapon. We sat. I poured tea. She smiled. That same smile. I held her gaze unflinching. I said softly, "You know why I ask you here." Her eyes flickered. A hint of apprehension, maybe? "I just wanted to talk," she began. I cut her off. Calm, measured. "You think this was a game? That you could walk into my life, take my husband, use my home, my family, my trust, and it wouldn't matter. But it does. It matters more than you'll ever understand." She didn't respond immediately. She blinked,
trying to regain control. But I had the upper hand. I revealed what I knew: the texts, the times, the meetings, the calculated nature of her actions. I saw her composure crack, just for a moment. Victory, I realized, wasn't hers anymore. I let the weight of my words sink in. I let her realize the consequences. I let her imagine the ruin she had caused. And then I said the words that mattered most. Stay away from my family. Stay away from my life. Or next time, the world will see exactly what you did. She left that day gracefully, deliberately, but the smile was gone, replaced with something smaller, uncertain. She had underestimated me, misjudged me, and I had reclaimed control, not with violence, but with the power of truth. Logan, he stayed, pleading, trying to explain, to beg, but I realized that what we had was gone, broken. I couldn't undo it. I couldn't trust him again. The marriage, the life we had built, it existed only in memory now. And yet, standing in that kitchen, the house silent around me, I felt something I hadn't felt in months: strength. Not forgiveness, not reconciliation, but strength. The knowledge that I survived the impossible, that I could rebuild, reclaim, and move forward. Madison had her victory once, the smile that cut me deeper than anything. But in the end, she had underestimated the one thing she couldn't control: me. The morning after Madison left, the house felt quieter than it had in years. Logan lingered, awkward, trying to speak. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Words couldn't undo what had been done. For the first time in months, I made coffee alone. I let the aroma fill the kitchen, normal, grounding, my own. It was the first act of reclaiming my life. Every movement, every small decision reminded me that I was still in control. I called my lawyer that day, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but to protect myself, my daughter, and the life we had built. I filed for separation, documented everything meticulously. I wanted no loopholes, no surprises, no shadows of lies. Marlene came home later that week. I sat her down gently. "There's something you should know," I told her. The truth. Careful not to burden her with unnecessary details, but honest enough so she understood. She cried, of course, but she hugged me and whispered, "I'm glad you told me." That moment, raw, real, reminded me that while people betray, love can endure. Logan begged. He promised. He cried. He swore. But I saw him clearly now. Not the man I married, not the father of my child, but a stranger who had chosen selfishness over family. There was no place for him in my future. I changed the locks. I cleaned the house with the kind of thoroughness that borders on ritual. Every corner, every object, every photograph became a symbol of my reclaiming. I didn't just want my life back. I wanted to redefine it: stronger, smarter, untouchable. Months passed. Madison never came back. I heard through the neighborhood grapevine that she moved away, quietly, without fanfare. Perhaps she realized some victories aren't permanent. I found strength in the little things: evening walks, long stretches of silence, my work flourishing as I poured my energy into creativity rather than heartbreak. I reconnected with friends, rediscovered passions, rebuilt the boundaries that Logan and Madison had violated. And then came the day when I realized something profound. I was happy again. Not naive happiness, not the fragile, desperate kind I had clung to in the past, but solid, unshakable joy. a life I had chosen for myself, not dictated by betrayal, manipulation, or deceit. I still think about that smile sometimes, Madison's smile, the one that once made my blood freeze. But now I see it for what it was, temporary, fleeting. In the end, it wasn't hers that mattered. It was mine. I had survived the impossible, faced the unimaginable, and come out the other side. And I had learned something vital. Strength is not given, it's taken. And sometimes you don't realize how strong you are until the people you trusted the most try to destroy you. I rebuilt my life piece by piece. I laughed again, loved again, cautiously, wisely, and fully aware of my worth. And as I stood in the sunlight pouring through my kitchen window, coffee in hand, I smiled. Not because I had won against anyone else, but because I had won back myself.